The morning hum of Stratton and Lee Financial fills the lobby cafe, the hiss of espresso machines, the click of heels, the smell of roasted beans cutting through cold city air. Maya stands near the counter, a notebook tucked under her arm, waiting patiently for her turn. The interns around her whisper about deadlines, trying not to spill their coffees. Then, collision. Hot liquid splashes across Maya's blouse. The crowd gasps. Greg Stanton, senior accounts manager, glares down at her, a designer watch gleaming under the lights. "Watch where you're going," he snaps, though his cup was the one that slipped. Maya steadies her breath, her hands trembling. I'm sorry, sir," Greg smirks, brushing at his sleeve. "That's the problem with interns. Too slow, too soft." The room falls silent. No one steps in. Not the barista, not the other interns. Maya just nods quietly, dabbing her shirt with a napkin, and as Greg walks away, laughing into his phone, a single line of narration cuts through the noise. What Greg didn't know, the woman he just humiliated wasn't who he thought she was. The camera pans through the bustling Stratton and Lee offices, polished glass, quiet ambition. Maya walks in on her first day, clutching her notepad like armor. She greets everyone with a polite smile, her voice soft but steady. "Morning," she says. Most nod back. A few don't. By midweek, she's already solving small problems no one else noticed. Mislabeled client files, missed deadlines, tiny details that make a difference. She never complains, never seeks credit. Greg Stanton notices, not her skill, but her humility. He slides a stack of reports onto her desk. "Do me a favor, kid. Have this typed up before lunch." She nods, even though it's not her job. Above the floor, through glass walls, Evelyn Lee, the CEO, watches quietly. Her expression unreadable, but her eyes linger on Maya longer than anyone else. Evelyn sits in her corner office, pen poised over a folder labeled Leadership Trainee Program, Final Candidates. One name sits at the top in neat black ink, Maya Thompson. Down the hall, Greg's laughter cuts through the air. In the break room, he brags to two colleagues, "I'm untouchable here. They need guys like me to keep this place running." He leans back, smirking. "Heard they're opening a new program? Probably to make another diversity hire look good." A hush falls as Evelyn passes by the open door, the office buzzed with mid-morning tension. The kind that hides beneath polite smiles and keyboard. Clicks. In the conference room, Greg dominated the conversation as usual. "So what we need," he said loudly, pacing by the whiteboard, "is someone who knows how this company really works, not a newbie with theories." He shot a glance at Maya, seated quietly at the far end of the table. She raised her hand gently, offering a correction to his numbers. Greg cut her off. "Thanks, kid, but we'll handle the math." Evelyn, seated in the corner, watched the exchange closely. Her pen never stopped moving. Minutes later, Greg fumbled a data slide in front of clients. The numbers didn't add up. Panic flickered in his eyes. Maya leaned forward, calm and certain. "If I may," she said softly, "the projection formula should include international revenue." With 3 quick clicks, the chart corrected itself. Flawless. The clients nodded in approval. Greg forced a smile. "Good catch," he muttered through gritted teeth, his jaw tightening. After the meeting, Evelyn stepped out of her office, voice steady. "Everyone will have a staff meeting at 3. Bring your notes," whispers spread through the hall. "It's about the leadership program," someone said. "Greg's a shoo-in." He straightened his tie, flashing that familiar smirk. "Told you, untouchable." Meanwhile, Maya sat quietly at her desk, her coffee cup replaced, her blouse clean, her posture unshaken. At exactly 3, Evelyn walked into the glass-walled boardroom. The chatter died instantly. Greg leaned forward, confident grin in place. Evelyn opened a crisp white envelope and looked up. "Aap hota hai to kya karte? Expose the bully or let time reveal the truth?" She extended the letter across the table. Greg reached for it, eager, expectant. But the name printed at the top wasn't his. Greg's grin falters. Evelyn doesn't stop walking, just glances at him, a faint, knowing smile. By lunchtime, the company would learn what real leadership looks like, and it wouldn't be his. The conference room was still. The hum of the projector, the faint ticking of Evelyn's watch. Every sound felt sharper. Evelyn looked up from the letter and said clearly, "Effective immediately, Maya Thompson is our new junior project director." For a heartbeat, no one moved. Greg froze mid-smile, confusion flickering into disbelief. "You're joking," he laughed nervously. "She's an intern." Evelyn slipped off her glasses, eyes steady. "She was, until now." Gasps and murmurs rippled around the table. The younger staff smiled discreetly. "A quiet vindication." Greg's voice cracked louder now. "You can't be serious." "I've been here 7 years." Evelyn's tone didn't rise. It didn't need to. "I'm very serious." "Leadership isn't measured in years, Greg. It's measured in how you treat people when no one's watching." Maya stood slowly, straightening her blazer, her voice calm, professional. "I have a lot to learn," she said, meeting Greg's eyes. "But I've already learned plenty. Watching you." A heavy silence. Then she extended her hand across the table. No hard feelings. Greg stared at it and refused to shake. Evelyn closed her folder, her voice like glass cutting through air. "Then consider this your last meeting here." Greg's chair screeched backward. He stormed out, muttering curses under his breath, but the camera lingers on the phone in his hand. A vibration, a new email. Greg stormed out, but the next email he received would end his career for good. Greg slams his office door behind him, chest heaving. His phone vibrates again, one new email. He opens it. For a long moment, he just stares. The glowing screen reflects back a face he barely recognizes, bitter, entitled, small. He sinks into his chair, the same chair where he once laughed at others' mistakes, realizing he's become the example he used to mock. Cut to Maya, seated across from Evelyn in the CEO's office. The skyline glows behind them. Evelyn smiles softly. "You didn't win today because you fought back, Maya. You won because you stayed centered." Maya nods, voice low but steady. "Sometimes silence speaks louder than defense." Evelyn leans back, proud. "You'll do well here." Later that afternoon, Maya walks through the same office halls where she once moved quietly, unnoticed. Now people pause, they smile, they nod. Respect, not pity. Her steps are calm but assured. On her new desk sits a steaming cup of coffee, untouched, perfect. Beside it, a handwritten note in elegant cursive. "Welcome, Director Thompson." She smiles, fingertips brushing the rim of the cup, the same symbol that once marked her humiliation, now reborn as her victory. The camera pulls back slowly, sunlight pouring through the glass walls. Her nameplate gleams, Maya Thompson, Junior Project Director. What if the people we underestimate today are the ones meant to lead tomorrow? Subscribe for more stories where grace turns humiliation into history.